Krill are shrimp-like marine invertebrates, animals lacking a backbone. Adults of most krill species reach about 1 to 2 centimeters in a year or two, although some species extend as large as 15 centimeters and mature in 5 to 7 years. Krill, like the baleen whales that eat them, are filter feeders that comb through seawaters for plankton, microscopic algae, phytoplankton, or animal zooplankton suspended in the water column. Together as a group, these organisms form a relatively simple food web. Phytoplankton supports zooplankton, plankton support krill, krill support many marine organisms, including baleen whales. Baleen whales are part of the diet for Inuit, the indigenous people of the Arctic. During the 19th and early 20th century, whalers of European ancestry hunted baleen whales to near extinction. Often they harvested only the oil in large baleen plates to which the baleen filters were attached, and left the rest of the carcass to rot. Baleen plates, although they were generally called whalebone, are composed of keratin, the substance of human hair and nails. These plates, because they are flexible and retain the shapes imposed on them when heated, served as the primary materials for springs in vehicles and other mechanical devices, and stays in ladies' corsets before the development of steel alloys and plastics. Therefore, baleen whales have supported humans in several ways. Oceans are generally nutrient poor. When marine organisms eliminate waste, or when they die, the nutrients that they contain eventually sink and collect in deep waters. Ocean currents at high altitudes turn over deep waters, bringing their nutrients to the surface. These upwellings promote algal blooms, striking increases in algal populations that support large swarms of krill. Baleen whales spend extended periods in the high-altitude oceans, feeding on these swarms. Global warming is decreasing the extent of sea ice near continents. Phytoplankton living on or near sea ice are critical as a food source for krill. Sea ice also shields krill from predators. Accordingly, annual mean density of krill varies with the duration of sea ice during the preceding winter. Changes in the density of krill, given its key position in the food chain, should reverberate throughout the polar ecosystems. Nonetheless, determining the effects of declining sea ice on whales has proved elusive given the impact of human activities, such as hunting. Commercial whaling in the 1800s decimated baleen whale populations. Finally, in 1946, an international agreement was forged to save the whales. Each country was allotted a maximum number of catches for different whale species. Some species have begun to recover in response to more limited hunting. For example, the number of southern right whales has risen from a minimum of about 60 females in the 1920s to over 7,000 today. Restoration efforts for whales face other difficulties, including uncertainties about their population sizes and their low reproductive rates. Baleen whales travel far, wide, and deep. They are long-lived, some over 150 years old, require 4 to 15 years to reach sexual maturity, and only have 1 or 2 calves every few years. Although food sources for baleen whales may have declined with the loss of sea ice, distinguishing global warming from other factors that influence the size of whale populations is not yet possible. Here is a common theme in these video segments. Population estimates for most species are based on inexact and infrequent censuses. Such gaps in our knowledge obscure present circumstances and heighten anxiety about the future. In summary, temperatures strongly influence nearly all biological processes. 2. Biological events occur an average of 2.3 to 5.1 days earlier in the spring and 0.3 to 1.6 days later in the autumn, each decade. Species have migrated to 6 meters higher in elevation and 6 kilometers closer to the pole each decade. Polar animals, including polar bears and baleen whales, appear to be at risk from global warming.